Hello everyone, welcome to Parishram Vigyanam. This is part 2 from the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plant, that is chapter 5 from your NCERT biology book. So in our first part we have already discussed about what is morphology, what is flowering plants, and about the roots. Okay, types of roots we have discussed, the modification of roots, their functions we have already discussed in that video. And in this part we'll discuss about stems. Alright, so let's begin. So stems we are going to discuss here. So let's see what is a stem. Okay, so it is basically the ascending part of a plant bearing what? Branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. Ascending part means above ground part. It is going above. From down to up it is going. That's why it is called the ascending part, which bears the branches, the leaves, flowers and fruits. Okay. Then from where the stem is arising? The stem is arising from the plumule, from a structure called plumule. Suppose this is a seed. This is a seed, and from when the seed germinates, it will give rise to a stem. From where this stem is coming, this baby stem is coming from a structure called plumule. Alright. And a root is coming out. From where this root is coming out? We have already discussed in the first part. From a structure called radicle. So from a seed, there is a structure called plumule where the shoot used to arise, the stem used to arise, and from the radicle, the roots used to arise. Clear my point? Then it is saying the part of the stem which bears leaf is called the nodes. So it is mentioned, in the stem the leaves will be present. So where these leaves are attached to, it is present in the structure called nodes. I'll show you a picture. And the part between the two nodes is called the internodes. So this is a branch. So there, like this structure, you can see it's most visible in the bamboo plant. So this part is called the what? Nodes. This is a node, and in between these two nodes there is internodes. Getting my point? I'll show you a picture, then it will be more clear to you. Okay, here. So see, this is a bamboo plant. You can see this structure, this one is the node. Node, which is bearing the leaf. See, from where the leaves are arising? From the node itself. And in between this two different nodes, there will be internode. Is it clear? And this is a picture showing a seed from where the stem used to arise and the roots used to arise. This part from where the stem used to arise is called the plumule, and from where the roots used to arise is called the radicle. Are you getting? Okay, then one more picture I have to show you, that the stem bears buds from where the flower used to come out, So the buds can be of two different types, that is apical or terminal bud, which is at the apex of the plant. This one, that is called terminal because it's in the terminal end. It is called apical bud also. Okay, and in the sideways there is another type of bud that is called auxiliary or lateral bud. Auxiliary or lateral bud. Two types of buds we can see in stems. One is apical or terminal buds, and another is auxiliary or lateral bud. Okay, then moving on to the next slide. Let's see the three functions of a stem. Okay, so the first, it's very easy. It's conduct water, minerals, food. We know in a particular stem there are two conducting tissue, vascular tissues. Do you know about it? Tissues, two different tissues. One is xylem, one is phloem. You know about it, no? Xylem conduct water and minerals from down to up, and phloem conducts food. Food from where it is getting? From photosynthesis it is getting. So it conducts water, minerals and food through the xylem and phloem respectively. Okay. And in some stems, they also undergoes photosynthesis. They also helps in photosynthesis. Generally, we know that leaves helps in photosynthesis, but in some cases, the stem also helps in photosynthesis, where photosynthesis used to occur. Okay. Next point is, in some case, it stores food. Okay, in some case, it stores food. Like potato is a stem, you know. It's not a root, it's a stem. So it helps in the storage of the food. Then give support. Some used to give support, like tendrils and all. You have seen like this creepers like structure, tendrils. Then it also gives protection, etc., etc. Protection means thorns and all. In some stems you can see thorns, like in lemon plants. Okay, so it protects from the grazing animals. We'll discuss this in modification of stem. Okay, so it also falls under the function of stem. What is the function of stem? 3 main function of stem you have to keep in mind. And it also supports the plant, no, to stand still. You can make your own functions also. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So let's see some modification in the stem. Let's see it. The first point, stem tendrils. We have already talked about this tendril like structure. I'll show one picture. So these are a coiled structure. It is highly coiled. You can see the diagram, highly coiled like the structure that supports tender stem of the plant and helps in climbing. So it's supposed the tender, the hard tough part, the main stem it supports, and it helps in the climbing up. Okay, like in case of grapes and cucumber and pumpkin, you can see the stem tendrils. Is it clear? This is the first modification, that is stem tendrils. I'll show you a picture. See, this is a stem tendril. See how it is highly coiled structure. Okay. Okay, then this is a picture of a pumpkin plant. This one. Then moving on to the next slide. The other modification is the thorn. I have already told you. So this thorn and the tendrils used to basically arise from the axillary bud. We have already discussed. Axillary means lateral bud. Okay, which gets modified into pointed thorn-like structure and protects plants from the grazing animals. Grazing animals are the one which are the herbivorous animals which used to feed on the herbs, shrubs and trees. So they used to graze around and look for food. So these plants used to protect them from the grazing animals. Obviously the grazing animals won't go near the plant, no, they will get hurt. Like in bougainvillea, pink color, it is in pink color shade, pink or orange. Basically it's pink in color. That flower in bougainvillea you can see. In citrus fruits, in lemon, in orange you can see these thorns. Okay, so see the thorns in the orange plant. This is a stem modification arising from where? From axillary bud or lateral bud you can say. Then moving on to the next slide, let's see some underground stem. Underground stem are of 4 different types. We'll discuss this in the next video. In the next slide, sorry. In the next slide, we'll discuss the 4 types of underground stem. They help plants sustain unfavorable condition for growth. So suppose the environment is of unfavorable condition. So when the stem is underground, so it is highly protected from that unfavorable environmental condition. Okay, for their favorable growth, they used to be underground stem. So 4 modification we'll see now. Let's see the first one. Underground modification number 1, rhizome. Rhizome, okay, runs parallel to the ground and have nodes, internodes, buds. Example in ginger and banana. So in this ginger and banana plant, what they used to do, they used to run parallel to the ground. Okay, so they used to run parallel to the ground, and as it contains nodes and internodes, obviously the stem will have nodes and internodes, and it will also have bud. Okay, so in case of ginger and banana, let's see a picture of a ginger. See this one, can you see? In case of ginger, this one, this is the node, this is the node, and in between two different nodes there is internodes. Okay, so how, see, a shoot is coming out, sorry, bud is coming out from the node itself. It will come out, bud, not shoot, bud, in case of ginger. Okay, the next, first we did second modification, underground stem modification, tubers. The end part gets swollen as in potato. So what happens, the plant is there, potato plant is there, and underground stem will develop, which will become swollen to form a tuber-like structure, for example in potato. Okay, this potato, why it is not a root? Because it does not arise from the radicle. Okay, it directly arises from the stem only. Therefore, potato is not a stem, it's a root. So let's see a picture. See, it's a potato. So from stem only it is modified. It is forming a tuber-like structure. Then corm. Next modification is corm. It grows vertically below the ground. So vertically below the ground it will grow, like in colocasia. Corm in colocasia, vertically below it will form tuber-like structure only, but it is known as corm. Tuber in case of potato, corm in case of colocasia. This is a colocasia, somewhat look like a potato, but this structure is called the corm, and that in case of potato it is called the tuber. Okay, next modification is bulb, the last one. The stem is reduced and surrounded by scaly leaves. Okay, the stem is reduced, stem will be very short, and it's surrounded by scaly leaves, like in case of garlic and onion. Okay, so this one, this is a stem, onion is a stem, garlic is a stem, and it is having scaly leaves. These are the leaves, no, scaly like structure. Okay, onion and garlic is also a stem, not a root. Okay, and below the onion this roots used to arise, but this onion is a stem. Just saying a short stem, it's short, having scaly leaves. Okay, clear? Bulb. Okay, then there is a terminology in your book that says organ of perennation. So what do you mean by organ of perennation? Let's see. First I'll read out this line. Sorry, what is happening? Let me see my... Okay, it's in flight mode only. Sorry for that. Okay. Organ of perennation. Okay. So what it is saying that it typically involves development of perinating gland inside a plant. A perinating gland will develop which stores enough nutrients to sustain the organism during the unfavorable season and develops into one or more new plants the following year. So, organ of perennation is a perinating organ which develops inside the plant in such a way that it used to store some amount of food so that they can use that food in the unfavorable condition. They used to store enough nutrients in the form of food and sustain the organism during the unfavorable condition. They can easily survive. Like whatever we have studied, the bulb, the tuber, Okay, and all whatever modification we have discussed till now all falls under organ of perennation to sustain in an unfavorable condition. They used to store enough nutrients, and again when the favorable condition comes, then again they used to manage their day-to-day routine. Understanding? This is called the organ of perennation. Then moving on to the next slide. The fifth part of the modification is subaerial weak stem offset, it is said. Subaerial, so subaerial means it is above the ground, touching the air. Weak, it is weak stem, and it is saying offset. So here it is saying internodes of lateral branch decrease resulting in the roselle of leaves. So what happened? The internodes is reduced. Nodes are spaced, nearly spaced. Okay, there is no large space between the nodes. The two different nodes are nearer to each other. Okay, resulting in roselet of leaves, bunch of leaves, like in Econia and Pistia. Let's see the picture of it. So here see, this is a structure, weak stem. Okay, so nearby it one more baby plant used to come up. Here likewise, this is called the offset. Like in Econia and Pistia, you can see this structure. This is an aquatic plant. Okay, then next modification we'll see. Okay, next modification is the suckers. Suckers are the lateral branch arises from the underground portion of the stem. So it's the lateral branch. Suppose branch is there, so laterally it is moving. Okay, lateral branch arising from the underground portion of the stem. So from underground stem, the lateral branch used to come up, like in chrysanthemum, banana, and pineapple. Okay, so in this tree structure, a lateral branch used to come up from the underground stem. Okay, I'll show you a picture. This picture won't be that much good. Okay, I'll draw and show it to you. Suppose this is a banana plant. This is the underground portion. This is the root of the banana plant. This is a banana plant, okay? So from the underground stem only vertically it used to arise, a baby banana plant. Are you getting? So from the underground stem, a vertical stem used to come out. Okay, understood? Suckers, you can see this in bananas, chrysanthemum, and pineapples. Chrysanthemums are flowering plants. It bears flower. It comes in basically yellow and white variety. Okay, then moving on to the next slide. Runners, let's see what is runners. Stem runs horizontally above the ground and roots arise at nodes. So what happened? The stem used to, suppose this is a plant. This is a plant. A stem used to run horizontally above the ground like this. A stem used to come out from a plant, and roots used to arise at the nodes. Suppose these are the nodes. Roots used to arise from the nodes. Like you can see this in case of grass and strawberry plant. Runners in grass and strawberry plant. So this is a runner of a strawberry plant. You can see this one. This is a runner, and in the nodes the roots used to come out. This is a daughter plant. Is it clear? The lateral roots will come up above the ground and it is attached to the ground, forming a new baby plant. Then the next one is stolon. Stolon. Okay. Lateral branches arise normally. Here also lateral branch used to arise like in the previous one. Lateral branch arises normally but then bend down and touches the soil where the roots grows and the new daughter plant arises. Okay, so can you tell me the difference? Here, when in case of stolon, when the lateral branch used to come up, when the branch used to touch the ground, then only the roots used to come up. But in the previous case, in the runner's case, in the nodes, the without touching the ground, when in the nodes, the roots used to come up. Even if they do not touch the ground, the roots used to come out from a runner plant. Okay, from the nodes. But in case of stolon, whenever a plant is having a lateral stem growing, and when it is touching the ground, then the roots will come up and form a baby plant, daughter plant, like in mint. Okay, like in mint. So this is a picture of a mint plant. Whenever it's touching the ground, it is forming the baby plant. Okay. Then moving on to the next slide. Aerial modification. Let's see the aerial modification. In phylloclades or xerophytic plants, phylloclades of xerophytic plants mean the plants which are present in the deserted condition, the stem become fleshy and green. The stem used to become fleshy and green. Fleshy means like thick structure it becomes with lots of jellies and like watery. It's like very fleshy. Okay, and green in color, having photosynthetic pigment also. Therefore it undergoes photosynthesis also. Photosynthetic pigments to prepare the food through photosynthesis. As leaves are reduced to thorns, leaves used to be modified into thorns to check water loss by transpiration. So here they do not allow transpiration loss, because in case of leaves, there are stomata, no, from where the transpiration means what? Loss of water in the form of water vapor. Okay, so in deserted conditions, already the climate is so dry, no rain, so therefore the plants are modified as aerial modification, where the stem used to work like a leaf, where the stem is having the pigments, it is fleshy and it is green in color, so it undergoes photosynthesis and make their food. And what the leaves used to do, the leaves used to modify it into small thorn-like structure, so to prevent from the transpiration. Okay, euphorbia is one of the example and opuntia is one of the example. I'll show you a picture. This is a picture of a cactus plant. Okay, so here this structure, can you see? This is a stem. This is a stem. Okay, these are the stem structure, and the spokes, you can see the thorns, small thorns. These are the leaf. Are you getting? These are the leaves. Is it clear to you all? So that's all for today's video. So we have already completed the root in the first part. We have completed stem in the second part, and I'll bring leaves in the third part. Okay. So thank you for your patient hearing.